All right, if your headlights look like this, we're going to go ahead and change them to this. First, you want to go ahead and start off by taping off the headlight. Now, I'm doing this on a parts truck, so I'm not necessarily worried about it, but for instructional purposes, we're taping it off. If your headlights look this bad, I would start with a little bit of a coarser grit, but if they don't look terrible and they look something similar to like these two headlights, then you could probably just go ahead and do straight to 600 grit. Now, because my headlights on this parts truck are looking pretty rough, I'm going to clean them off with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and I'm going to use 240 grit to smooth and level this out. I'm using a palm sander and basically just going to town with this. Like I mentioned, if your headlights don't look this bad, you could probably start with 400 and then go to 600 grit. After you have leveled out the headlight, depending on what grit you're using, so like I said, I'm using 240 grit here. Once you have leveled it out and got all the imperfections and leveled the headlight out, you can then go ahead and clean the headlight with some rubbing alcohol again. You just want to make sure that you're getting all that dust and stuff off the headlight. And then you can move on to 600 grit. And basically that 600 grit is just going to level out all those scratches from the coarser grit that you used to prep the surface with. Like I mentioned, if your headlights don't look this bad, you can probably just go straight to a 600 grit and then clear coat. It shouldn't take you more than probably a half hour or so. Essentially, because these headlights were so old and had so much fading in the plastic and some pitting too, probably from the truck being 20 years old. So once you're done with the 600 grit, you will notice how it should look fairly uniform. So once you are done with the 600 grit, it should look pretty uniform all across the headlight. Obviously, if there's still imperfections, make sure you address that before you start clear coating. Like I mentioned, after you do the 600 grit, go ahead and clean the headlight off with some isopropyl alcohol and a microfiber cloth. You might have to do this a couple times. I do. I just make sure that I wipe it down, spray a little bit more on, and then wipe it down again, and then let this dry for probably about 5 or so minutes. In the same amount of time you're letting the headlight dry, you can go ahead and activate your clear coat. I'm using custom cans from Custom Paints. They're located in Florida. Take the gray cap off the bottom, thread the little ring in the gray cap through there's like a little pull tab on the bottom of the can, and then go ahead and twist that. Pull it all the way out and twist. I generally keep twisting until I don't feel any more resistance, but this can was actually already activated, so I just want to give you a quick tutorial on how to do that. And then light sweeping passes. Again, this is just a like a parts truck, so I'm not necessarily too worried about getting overspray and stuff on it, but 600 grit, I mean, basically that's all you need. I did another video where I did 600 grit to 800 grit, wet sanding and all that stuff. Honestly, just going 600 grit and then clear coating over it does the exact same thing. And I think that this will probably last a lot longer because the scratches aren't as fine as the 800 grit. If you guys like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. If you didn't like this video, also give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. I'm Jordan, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.